Jewelry.
Oh? Put it on one of my horns. Let's see if I can pull it off.
No.
That's all my brother's tributes.
Would you prefer we hang on to them?
Do what you will. If Freyr didn't bother taking them when he left Alfheim, he wouldn't mind us selling them to the library.
An archive of knowledge.
No sign of the Light Elves.
For now.
Maybe they've left for the day, and we can browse at our leisure.
These texts alone are not enough to end the Elven War. But restricting their access only serves those who wish to prolong it.
Taking a page out of Odin's book.
Aye. Quite the advantage for the Light Elves.
This book is sealed, but there is an inscription. The console.
Big Veer spoke of an exile of the same name. Odds are he'd like a gander at that particular text. Ah, it appears the librarian would like a word.
Lata Framborg.
Sounds like she wants that journal back.
No.
They're healing!
Leo Salva. Thought. Megivita. How Gabroti.
She thinks she's protecting them by hiding all this knowledge away.
The elves do not need protection from their history. They need access. A new chapter awaits.
I'm impressed. Thought you were going to end her.
When last we traveled here, after Faye passed, I killed an elf of great importance. The ramifications were dire for his people. I do not wish to make the same mistake twice.
He can take out those springs, brother!
Freya, when Hildisvini went to Helheim, how did he not freeze to death?
The perk of the Jofer.
The boar-shifting warriors of Vanaheim, as wise in statecraft as they are deadly on the battlefield.
So they may shift into whatever form they like.
Sure, so long as the only two shapes they'd like to shift into are human and boar.
Kratos, tell me of an adversary from your homeland. It will serve us well if I understand more of your battle tactics.
There was Medusa, queen of the Gorgons. Her gaze turned men to stone. A mirror would turn her own powers against her. Or, you may remove her head. But that is the hard way.
Which did you choose?
The hard way.
Forget I asked.
As I was saying about the laird and his brother, all summer they'd upheld their oath to avoid the touch of woman. Yet here before them stands a fair maiden in need of their help to cross the river.
Enough talk for now. Be ready.
Brother, I've heard my share of stories about your homeland, but I'd also heard that you once fought in a tournament.
I fought in many contests.
But this particular one, I heard you did battle with beasts, scoundrels, princesses, the undead, automatons, and history's greatest musician. That's not true, is it?
I would not speak of this.
Fair enough, brother. As I was saying about the laird and his brother, all summer they'd upheld their oath to avoid the touch of woman. Yet here before them stands a fair maiden in need of their help to cross the river. The laird doesn't miss a beat. He hoists her onto his shoulders, carries her across, sets her down, doffs his cap, and fords back across to his brother, who is dumbfounded, can't even bring himself to speak. The day stretches on, the laird carries on hunting, and his brother quietly gnashes his teeth down to powder. Finally, the dam breaks. "Brother," he cries, "how could you do it after everything we've sacrificed?"
Another time. We must focus.
A dawn bloom.
Yet another sleeping beast, the handiwork of Alvis Stonefoot. Finishing my story from before. The laird had broken his oath by carrying the maiden across the river, and his brother quietly stewed until he could contain himself no more. How could you do it, brother?
Not now. Mimir, tell me more of Yari.
After leaving his family, he wandered the realms in search of something unnameable. But in all his wondrous travels, nothing satisfied him. Until he met another wanderer in search of something similar. Unnameable. He was called Soma.
Let us find the final ingredient.
finishing my story from before. The laird had broken his oath by carrying the maiden across the river, and his brother quietly steamed until he could contain himself no more. How could you do it, brother?
Hold. What is that? Gravestone. No doubt a berserker awaits.
The altar is stolen.
Death to the enemies of Ragnarok! Unworthy trust! You are nothing! Careful! Not worth my time! Changing arrows! Not my I can't help but feel
Get up, brother.
disappointed.
The altar is stolen.
The enemies of Ragnarok! Waste of time! Worth my time! You are nothing!
Take it off, man! You've got this!
Expected more from a so-called god.
The altar is stolen.
The enemies of Ragnarok!
This kingdom, Lara. You once lived there.
Before I shacked up with the Aesir, aye. Another of my spectacular failures.
In capturing these spirits, you seek redemption.
I just want to send these bloody monsters to hell where they belong. Wouldn't exactly call it redemption, but I know I'll feel better once it's over. Finishing my story from before. The Laird had broken his oath by carrying the maiden across the river. Never mind that. Time to fight. Finishing my story from before. The laird had broken his oath by carrying the maiden across the river, and his brother quietly stewed until he could contain himself no more. How could you do it, brother? How could you break your vow like it was nothing, carrying that lass on your shoulders like you were a Shetland? Odie! The laird just smiled. Brother, I set that lass down across the river. It's you that carries her still. Oh, I got a chuckle. A rare day indeed. Freya, I've always wondered, why was Freya so revered here so quickly upon his first arrival?
Well, to begin with, it wasn't his first arrival. Very few know this, but Freyr was one of the earliest visitors to Alfheim, back in the dawn of realm travel.
Oh? Bit before my time. Do tell.
Hold. Let us search this area.
A monument to Freyr. I wonder if he ever saw this.
That's odd. The runes are dark.
I'm grateful to see Freyr remembered this way. But what purpose does all this serve?
Difficult to say without an inscription. But it looks like the elves built this place together, light and dark. Which means this would have been their first act of cooperation in generations. A far cry from lasting peace, but perhaps it served as a monument. One that symbolizes the potential for peace.
This statue may have survived Freya's absence, but a truce clearly did not. Monuments are useless to those who ignore their message.
He didn't create a truce through diplomacy alone. His godhood, his very presence is what healed this land and allowed peace to take root. But once he left, he had to have known what would happen.
Well, he had good reason to leave. Some jackass convinced his sister to marry a madman.
You said monuments are useless. Why restore this one?
It was hidden for some time. Perhaps now it can serve as a reminder.
Aye. Nothing reminds people of their history like chiseled, well-lit marble.
These crystals contain their own light.
You're right. Normally we'd have to provide our own. Perhaps slotting a crystal on the opposite side could shed some light on this mystery.
Ugh. The ring of crystal shards glow.
Looks like we can read the inscription now as well.
The light from the crystals. It is in the sand now.
Would you look at that? Freyr's gift endures after all. Or should... I say, his presence.
You are not funny.
actually here. The peace was fragile. Surely a bit of extra light in the desert isn't enough to make it last.
Before I met Faye, I could not imagine a life of peace. After her death, in our travels to Jotunheim, I found peace on my own. It remains my responsibility to make it last.
I only hope his guidance will last this time.
We will see. But he has given them a chance.
Perhaps we can bring these two animals back to Vanaheim, or Midgard even. Becky and Spanner could use the company. We have kennels.
It would not go well for them. Once a predator becomes accustomed to a land, it is cruel to move them.
I suppose you're right. Just seems lonely out here.
It is peaceful. They have each other. It is enough.
For the massive door we found earlier.
That door required 2 keys.
Aye, so it did. Let's keep looking then.
You know, Freyr loved to breed Gulan cubs in Vanaheim. I wonder if these two are the descendants of the Gulan he brought here long ago.
That explains how they got to the desert. Another gift for the Dark Elves. Freya, earlier you mentioned that Freyr was one of Alfheim's first visitors. Care to elaborate? I wasn't in these lands at the dawn of realm travel.
Well, we believed for a long time that all the giants had died in the flood, until one of them appeared in Vanaheim.
Enough. We will continue later.
Freya, do you mind picking up that story about your brother? I think you said a giant had appeared in Vanaheim.
That's right.
Hold. We will finish later.
Freya, do you mind picking up that story about your brother? I think you said a giant appeared in Vanaheim.
That's right. Her name was Gerd, and she came offering to teach us the secrets of traveling between realms using Bifrost light. Freyr became immediately infatuated with her. He always yearned to wander, and along came someone who could truly show him how.
Let this wait. Stay alert.
Freya, getting back to your brother learning to realm travel. You said he fell in love with his teacher.
Yes, Gerd. Someone he could wander with as never before.
Set that aside for now. Come.
Something is coming, and it's not happy. back there?
Your guess is as good as mine. Imprisoning a Drake. Can't decide whether to be impressed or horrified.
Either way, it is over now.
I wonder, how'd these two pups end up yoked to the sled?
Ever try flying in a sandstorm? I imagine Freyr showed the Dark Elves that Gulon could be trained to pull a plow. They must have found new uses for them once the sandstorm arrived. I imagine they're now bred to aid in traveling the surface.
There, getting back to your brother learning to realm travel. You said he fell in love with his teacher.
Yes, Gerd. Someone he could wander with as never before. So, wander they did, exploring the world tree from root to branch. But one day, it came time for Gerd to wander away. Freyr was heartbroken, and resolved himself to perform some great feat to win her back. He set his aim on the grandest of gestures. He intended to be the first to find the elusive source of Bifrost light. And he succeeded, although quite by accident. Freyr believed he navigated best while fortified by a potent blend of Vanir herbs. When he wandered, he wandered. And he managed to wander from the World Tree directly into the Lake of Souls. The elves had never seen anybody come out of the lake before, so it got some attention.
Oh, that is bloody hilarious.
I don't know whether he worked his charms at that point or they just assumed him to be a great deity. But of course, he hadn't made this journey in search of responsibility, so he didn't stick around long. Still, the legend of his manifestation was passed along through the ages. It even endured after the Great Division, remembered by light and dark elf alike. So when at last he returned, he was uniquely situated to gain the trust of both sides and help to create a truce. The problem was, both sides trusted only him. So the peace could only last as long as he stayed around to keep it. And with the long war dragging on without an end in sight, I suppose making any kind of peace was an irresistible notion for him. Even if it meant having to rule. She's gone.
That? Well, she's hiding again.
Matters not. The knowledge found here will spread. Her work is done.
That's the last of the missing schematics. I suspect you've got some new sword hilts in you. Future.
Ugh.